What's happening? Chat, what's up? Chat, what's up? We this is the 26th episode of the Longhouse Podcast. Gang all day. Throw up the set if you're here with us. We got 15, 17 people rocking with us. Okay, we good. We good. We got the usual, myself, Black Scale, Supernova, and we got special guests. Fuzzy, Belvedere. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Glad to be here with you guys. Man, Twitter's been a mess, and gaming news in general has been all over the place, but glad to be here with you guys, man.
All right, cool, man. I'm glad that you're here with us too, man. Second time. That's dope, man. And then we got Hargeet Chani. The man, the man with the best beard on the screen right now. I'm jealous. How you doing, man?
Well, the news just keeps getting more and more interesting every freaking day.
I know. It's only February. When is it going to stop?
Right? And love the avatar. That's right.
Yeah. That boy buff.
Powering up.
It took me a minute to get that beard right, but when it's there, we got it. Thanks to
that's good.
What's it?
ChatGPT,
Microsoft Designer. Yeah, that's the one.
Copilot. Yeah,
that's right. I think be
they're not sponsoring us. They're not sponsoring us, huh?
You're right.
In the chat, man, we got E-Ranks. It's Timmy, Live Supremacy, Tent Gaming, Drake Williams, my boy Solid White 731, Isaac Hayes 85, Razor, Ramon, Stone Blade up in the house. Who else we got? We got Grumpy Shaman. What's up, man?
Hey,
yo,
and Sergi 24. Y'all my dudes, man. Y'all are my dudes, man. But we gonna get into these topics. You know how we do it at the beginning. We play a little bit of music. We get crunk. We get live. Y'all might be cleaning up after dinner. Come vibe with us. You might be at work. You know what I'm saying? Vibe in the warehouse. Let your boss see you. Say, hey, boss, I'm about to jam out. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. We're gonna get crazy today. Hey, we got Fuzzy in the house. We got Hargeet. What we talking about, chat? Hey, Nintendo out here 10 tones down. They saying, hey, we about to sue these motherfuckers out here in these streets trying to take our games.
Mm-hmm.
But you know the internet, you know the PC game. We gonna keep it going. You might shut this one down, but there's 12 more, baby. But we gonna get them games. What else we got? Black Scale. My man said he gonna talk about this little concept thing. AMD Handheld coming out. Ooh. You like put the glasses on, attach it to the controller. We gonna see what it's all about. People gonna be looking goofy as shit with them things on the bus. And then the madness, the craziness. Y'all saw it. Toys for Bob going independent. Them EA layoffs, the 505 game layoffs. It's almost like people forgot about the Sony shit. I don't see it nowhere. It's just all about this. Y'all help me out with this. Well, we gonna talk about it. Chat, what's good? Throw up the set. And we ride.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna talk about these topics, man. Now I'm so glad we got Hargeet Chani and Fuzzy Belvedere in the building to discuss some of this important news. But first, like we always do, I'm gonna start with Nova. What you been playing? What you been watching?
I haven't been watching much of anything since we talked last Tuesday, but I have been playing a lot of Final Fantasy today.
Okay.
That game so far is pretty fire. I remember in one of the previous episodes we was talking about like, oh well, why download the demo if you're just gonna play the game anyway? Because that was my stance, right? But
Yeah.
when I booted it up today, for all those who've already played the demo or whatever, they have it to where you can earn something from playing the demo, so you don't have to, and it skips over it in the game, bro. I was
really?
Man,
yeah.
I love that and hate that at the same time.
It's smart, bro. So
It's-
yeah. So low key though, later on I'm gonna go create a save point on the demo if I can still download it. You know what I'm saying, and then get me whatever. But anyway, that's what I've been doing, man.
All right, cool. What about you, Skill?
Me watching, I actually forgot to watch the last episode of Halo, so I watched that last night. Man, loving the Halo. I'm so happy.
Last week's episode.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That shit was
nice.
fire, boy.
Boy, fire! I'm definitely enjoying Halo. I'm just so happy that it's a good show. Like,
yeah,
that just for my soul and for my Halo 2 days, and I'm just so happy. It's a good show. So kind of caught up on that, watching that tonight too. So other than that, still been playing a lot of Helldivers, and still been playing I've been playing a lot of Street Fighter, man. I think I've just been in the film to catch the fades. So I just like 1v1 and really just either getting whooped, which it has been a lot of, or getting some dubs here and there. So that's what I've been playing and watching.
What's up? All right, cool. What's up, Delilah?
Yo,
Rep the set. Yeah, that Halo series is good, man. The ending of the last episode, bro, I was like, what the
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch up one of these days, I promise.
It's so
good,
good.
man.
It's so good.
I'm happy it's good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people didn't really like the first season. I liked it.
Yeah, that's why I like the second
first season
season.
Yeah, I liked it.
The first season was heat. Every episode I was like, I gotta see what happens.
Yeah, I think people like me and Everborn was talking one day. I think people like tried to do the whole Mandalorian thing with Master Chief, like him being outside his helmet and stuff, and it ain't nothing like that, man.
No, I like seeing him out the suit and stuff, man, and out there. It gives him some depth, and it's a show. You have to give this man some depth. He can't just be doing Master Chief dialogue, little soliloquies all the time.
Drake Williams said Admiral Keys, aka K Asante, dropped the baddest speech I've ever heard.
Yes. Yes. No, can't spoil, don't spoil. Ooh, I was like, yeah. That's all
He was hype over there.
I was hype, man.
Yeah, man.
Loved it.
All right, man. Fuzzy, man. What about you? What you been playing and watching?
Well, as far as watching, just got back from a Kevin Smith cruise.
Man, I saw that. That was so cool.
Been watching a lot of his movies. Pretty much on the cruise they had those on repeat on TV. So watched all the Mallrats. Well, watched Mallrats, all the Clerks, and Chasing Amy. I guess because of the studio rights and stuff like that, couldn't play Dogma, but got to enjoy the cruise. Touch base on Bahamas a little bit to do like a couple of bar hops with the wife and stuff, but had fun with that. And then as soon as I got back, unpacked, relaxed, and then got back into catching up on collecting cars for Forza Horizon 5.
Okay.
We got the new series this week and everything for cars in Europe and stuff like that. And then there was a recent update for Undisputed where they have the career mode and you can create your own boxer and stuff like that, or you can try to recreate like a real boxer that's not in the game currently. They got a decent lineup in the game already, but they don't have Tyson, they don't have Mayweather, and a few others that they don't have in there yet. Obviously, those probably going to be some big dollar DLC down the line if they can,
Mayweather wants his money for sure.
Oh yeah.
But that game has been a lot of fun. A few bugs to fix, but still enjoying it and didn't get to play Helldivers 2 as much as I wanted to. So I'm way behind everybody. I know everybody's probably like level 20 plus, and I'm still hovering around like level 8 or something like that. But still having fun with it.
That's cool, man. How was Kevin Smith? I saw you got to take a picture with him and all that.
Nice.
Pretty dope.
He's the coolest dude. Like the whole thing when it comes to like taking pictures with celebrities, you can tell the ones that are like, it's like, all right, I'll do it type of thing. But he was like, we were waiting to get on the elevator and he was coming off the elevator and I didn't notice it at first. Like it was like a group of people and I'm like, it's probably like from the 14th floor or like the 14th floor of the ship. It's all like where the celebrities were and kind of walked around. I guess he saw I had a Clerks 2 shirt on and he came by and gave me a hug and I was like, and I looked, I was like, oh crap, Kevin. Hey. My wife was like, oh my, and she wound up taking a picture and then took a picture with my wife and everything. And he was real cool. And even like another time we bumped into him on the ship and stuff like that. Just talked to him about like some of the stuff with like the whole dogma thing, which, at some point, I forget the guy's name that's been the problem over at like the studios and stuff. He's the same one that has like the essay complaints against him in Hollywood. So he's like holding on to that license for whatever reason to the point where it's like he can't make another dogma, but hopefully he makes something similar or one of the other movies that they did like a script read for that hopefully we'll get to see here soon. But man, just cool dude to talk to, just personable, like not like a lot of the other celebrities you'll come across, but everybody from like people that he works with, like Jason Mewes, Jason Lee, and I always remember the guy's name as Randy, but I can't remember his real name. I think it's Sepley or something like that. They've been like the coolest people that you can meet in person kind of thing. So it was a real cool time.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Well, Hargeet, what you been playing and watching, man?
Well, I'm not going to outdo Kevin Smith, but I haven't actually been playing anything. I don't know if you can tell, like my thumb is still kind of healing. So it's almost getting there. I guess I can probably start playing. Maybe, I don't know. It was kind of swollen up to about twice its size. It was all infected, so I wasn't playing anything. So I haven't played anything in a while. I haven't been watching anything for like years. I just gave up on TV and movies. So I've just been watching a whole bunch of podcasts and other stuff, basically. Keeping up on everybody's thoughts and how the entire industry has melted away.
Pretty much, man. We're gonna get into that. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, man. I thought 2023 was bad, but 2024 has been shit.
Man, it certainly started in an interesting way, hasn't it? It
has, man. Mm-hmm. As for me, man, I finally picked up watching Gen V.
Oh man, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
So good, man. All the characters are so good in that.
It's a proper spinoff. I'll say that.
It is a very proper spinoff. And then play some more Suicide Squad, Halo, Call of Duty, and my Unicorn Overlord demo. Still doing that. It's pretty long for a demo. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that game to come out. Which is what, May or March? March? I'm not sure. I forgot. I think it's sometime soon though. But yeah, and I downloaded Final Fantasy VII, so I'm gonna hop on and see what that's about this weekend. So yeah,
I'm just waiting on that Dogma, baby. That's my March game. I'm so upset they released all them games on the same day. It's like they could have put something out earlier. It's like, why is all this at the end of the month at that? It's like, whatever.
We said it last show.
Sony's like shooting itself in the foot there, right? 2 games are coming out at the same time as Dragon's Dogma. They've got Horizon coming out on PC, and then they got Rise of the Ronin.
I forgot about the Horizon. I forgot about Horizon.
Horizon ain't doing that.
Horizon Forbidden West, coming out PC. Oh, it's like a day before or something like that, and then Rise of the Ronin coming out the same day. Man, they just got this thing. Horizon has this thing about shooting itself in the foot all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it seems like it.
That's crazy. And then we was talking about Stellar Blade and BLAQQ Wukong launching within the same week.
Wow.
Wukong got that. I want Wukong right after.
Yeah, I'm getting that. Getting
That's
that.
nuts,
I want
man.
that.
But the good news I heard about Ronin, which I like, was that you can customize your character, like create your character at the beginning. Like I'm a big, like, give me the options, right? And then 4-player co-op.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. So like whenever there's downtime between game releases, I'll probably pick up Ronin then.
I'll probably be on the same boat. I just know Dogma's #1, so
yeah.
it's unfortunate.
100%.
I do want Ronin though. I'm actually ready to dust my PS5 off a little bit and get some Ronin action. But
Yeah.
I don't know when that's gonna be. And I kind of want the Princess Peach before I want the Ronin, to be frank. I just know, bro, Nintendo. This is Peach's first like big game. Like I feel like this shit is going. I'm sorry, this is going to.
I know, and that's coming out the same time as well, isn't it?
Same day, I think.
Same day. Same day.
So within 2 days, you're getting 4 big games. That's just crazy. Man.
I'm not gonna lie. 2024 has been a good year for gaming. It's January and February have been heat. It's been wild, but the games themselves have been pretty good.
It's right during PAX too, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm interested to see what the second half of the year is going to look like, because we don't have a lot of dates for anything then, but yeah, it might be stacked again.
Now, Hi-Fi comes out that week too. You know, like I think it's like the day or two before.
Right. Yeah, wasn't that beaten? Like pre-sales were beaten. Like it was beaten like a whole bunch. Of
games
in the place.
It's doing better than some other ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wish list. Yeah.
Yeah, on wish list.
Solid game.
Huh?
Yeah,
oh, you said solid game.
Yeah, solid game.
Yeah, it is.
See how it does.
Yeah, we'll see. The price point's good though. You know what I mean? So I think he'll do okay.
How much is it?
Like $29.99, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. I would have liked the 19, but 29 is all right.
Yeah. But all right, man, let's go ahead and get started, man. So we're gonna start with Nova's topic first. Go ahead and set us up, man.
So this week, man, the alarm bells went off at Nintendo, right? And then that individual decided to take a quick plumber's pipe straight to legal, right? They said, we're suing, all right?
Yeah.
So Nintendo claimed that the lead developer of Yuzu, which is an emulator that's online right now, it's a Switch emulator. It says that the lead developer of Yuzu, known online as Bunny, I believe, has publicly acknowledged that Yuzu's website gives the instructions to users, teaching them how to hack their Nintendo Switch. Obviously, that sounds very, very problematic. You know, Nintendo is very close to themselves when it comes to their IPs, right?
Yeah.
Emulators tend to historically tread this line by just kind of reverse engineering all of the things that's necessary to run these games. Sans the the copyrighted stuff, like the keys and the BIOS and stuff, and they usually instruct you to go elsewhere to, you know, complete the Infinity Gauntlet, as some would say, you know, when it comes to that. They also allege that as of, I think it's May of 2023, that 1 million copies of The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, were potentially pirated. So,
1 million?
1 million, right? So what they're looking for right now,
out of like what, 20 something? How many do they sell?
They probably sold boatloads, but still 1 million copies of anything is.
Yeah, and they assume that those are people who haven't also bought the. I played it on Yuzu, but I also bought the game. I have it on my Switch. I played it for hours on there, and I'm like, I want to try it on 60 on my PC, like 60 frames per second. And okay, cool, I'll just play it here, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that they're just they're a little upset that specifically that they're violating the anti-circumvention and anti-trafficking provision with the DMCA, you know. So I want to go to you first, Hargeet, and I want to ask you, is Nintendo right to come after Yuzu? And I'm going to pass this around to you other individuals later.
This is one of those technicalities that, yes, technically they're right. Look, Nintendo is one of those companies that are just jerks when it comes to the community. They're possibly the worst company, and that includes a company like Activision. Like, they're just bad. And I wish they would understand that it's actually better for them to just let this go. It's not like their games don't sell. They sell like at ridiculous levels. Like Every company on the world would love to have Nintendo's freaking sales numbers. They're just ridiculous at how well they sell. The other thing they could do is just say, hey, why don't we just bring out your freaking games to freaking PC as well and just be done with it? That would just end this problem, right? Then you wouldn't need to emulate. It would just freaking run there. And people would buy them in droves. I don't know why they just don't do it. But this is the way they are. Nintendo's Nintendo. They're the last ones that are going to change. They do need to, but like, okay, are they technically right? Yeah, they're right. But come on, really? I don't really find this that like, if they were dying, okay, right? They're killing their competition, like totally just destroying their competition. Like there's just no reason for this. Now, to be fair, this is 1 year where they're probably going to go lower because they were going to launch a console that's not happening this year. It's going to happen next year, right? That obviously kills your plans. It is what it is. I get it. So is that going to be a very, bad thing for Nintendo? Maybe their profits will be down. Maybe they'll have less revenue. Yes, that's probably true. They are also going to have to delay a whole bunch of games they were expecting to launch this, holiday, and that will also be pushed. And so all that revenue will be recognized next year, not this year. I get it, but that's still not a good reason to do this. I don't know. Yes, technically they're right. It is something that's wrong. You shouldn't have it on there. That's fair.
Yeah.
Come on. Are they really losing out on that much sales? I mean, are they really, really, really losing out on that much sales? I think they make up for it in the number of people that just buy it for their kids that don't even freaking open the game. And right. It's like, just stop. Just stop. You make enough sales. Like Pokemon sells like 30 million freaking copies every freaking year. Are you really kidding me here? Like, come on. When you like double the profits of your competitors, I can't cry for you. I'm sorry. I just don't care. Like, get over it.
He said he don't care, man. He said that's what it is. And they could
yes, technically they're right, but it's like, come on. Like, these are the same guys who are like, hey, we want to do was it Smash Brothers like tournament, and the Nintendo wasn't working. They're like, hey, we can put it over. No, we're not going to do that. Like, we have to shut you down. I'm like, what? Yeah. Are you serious, dude? Like, let it go. Just let the community drive for you. It's like, what are you doing? Like, they're just so bad with these things.
Oh, yeah.
No, I feel you on that. Actually, because I'm gonna throw it to Fuzzy here in a second, man. Do you mind, Viking, if we go to this? We got a 2.
The super chats. Yeah. Let me get Grumpy Shaman with the 2. He says for the kids.
Yes.
He said, "Great show, guys." I appreciate that, Grumpy.
Appreciate it.
That's super dope, man.
Like that avatar.
Yeah, it's good. He looks grumpy. He looks grumpy, don't he?
Yeah, it reminds me of Daria from back in the day. I remember that show.
Oh yeah,
Daria. She kept it so real. I love Daria, bro. That was a good show.
Yeah. And then Goat Gaming drops 5 Longhouse Gaming Podcast memberships.
Dude.
Oh boy, he just want to see me blow the horn. I'm gonna have to up my price.
You feel like you're going out here too cheap, huh?
Too cheap. Supply and demand. Dang, boy. I appreciate that, Goat. I think the new members are going to be Sergi24, BT Maverick 707, C Mustard, money from On Point, Guess Who 107, Abdel not Guess Who, but Abdel 114 and Victor Bernard. Y'all think that man Goat Gaming? Super dope. Super dope.
GOAT.
Yeah.
That. He
like that beat.
He wants no laughing Fuzzy or Hargeet. You understand? All right. Why it gets so quiet whenever
we don't want to disturb, bro.
Yeah.
All right, that was good.
Okay.
I liked it. E-Rank said #HornHub.
I like that
one. I haven't heard that
Pornhub.
Pornhub.
Keep blowing. Wait.
That's it. You got it. We got it.
That's it. #HornHub. Okay. All right. I see what you
Going.
did there.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. All right. Go ahead. Thanks again, Goat and Grumpy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Oh,
Thank
we got big boy Mike in the building. What's happening,
Yo,
man?
What it do?
what up?
And Crispy Bomb. What's up, boy?
Crispy.
Nerds and other legends. What's happening? All right, go ahead, Nova.
All right. Well, besides that, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. But so Fuzzy, I'm about to go to you, man. Hargeet said, Nintendo, y'all got enough money. If somebody downloads that Zelda game 1,000,000 times, you got enough. All right.
Yeah.
So sit down and chill. So what do you think about their actions?
They always seem to, I mean, they're extra protective of their, IPs and things like that. But I'm just surprised they haven't seen that. Like, even when they did that whole AR stuff on like mobile, that there's another potential customer base outside of buying the Switch and stuff, or the same people that are buying the Switch would probably also like to play stuff on their phone or on their PC. So it just feels like it's a misstep, like a lost opportunity. Because at least as far as the people I know that use Yuzu or that particular software, most of them own a Switch. And the whole reason why they do that is because the thing is 5 years out of date. So it's like, oh, you get 22 frames on a game that, you would normally enjoy, at 30 frames or better. But no, it's barely doing that on the Switch. So they'd rather play it on their PC or on their Steam Deck or their ROG Ally or whatever the case is. So it's like, since there is no Super Switch out there, something that's powerful enough to do 30 frames or even 60 frames, they got to go and kind of handle it themselves. And I think this is like that missed opportunity where people, it's not going to slow down their sales or anything like that. And if anything, it's just going to piss off the people that would normally buy the stuff. But they definitely need to see the opportunity either on PC or mobile. I mean, we got mobile phones now that can play last gen games or even some current gen games. They probably should put some of their stuff over there. I mean, not everybody wants a Switch, especially if it's an underpowered, handheld in comparison to what's out there. It's too much. They're going too far. They have all the right because it is their IP, but yeah, I think this is a way to kind of, piss off some of your fans that would be more willing to probably buy more of the software so they could play it on their, better handhelds that are out there on the market now.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's an excellent point, man, because I didn't even think about that. So could be some people that's just actual power users, they enjoy the game. They just want to be able to play it and without having to deal with the frame rate drops and the issues that the potentially underpowered console itself has. So that makes plenty of sense, man. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to you, BLAQQ SKELLINGTON. What do you think, sir?
The way I was seeing it is, man, been doing this emulation thing for a while. It's like the fact that they're just now coming to these people and trying to shut them down just seems odd. Just because this isn't going to stop. They're either going to boot back up or there's other ones out there. You know what I mean? I mean, your games are so that what Nintendo had to stop emulation, in my opinion, was that their games like the Wii and the Switch, even with Joy-Cons popping off and stuff, they're more difficult to emulate because you have motion controls and all kinds of stuff. It used to be that way. It was more difficult. So they kind of had it locked up to where you could only emulate certain games. So now the fact that they're tuning in hardcore and suing is just, they do have the right. I'm gonna say, you're not about to just play my stuff. I understand. I understand. I get it. They definitely they made the games. You can't just be playing games for free, and especially because it's free most of the time. It's understandable for sure. But I just feel like if they would just revamp their online system, they could even raise the price on subscriptions and put everything online. Then, I just don't understand why we can't play the games. Y'all don't want us to. Y'all don't let us. If y'all don't want to let us play the games, we're gonna play them. We're gonna figure it out. I promise we want to play those classic games. I'm a big Power Stone fan. You don't think I played that recently? I'm not gonna say how, but I have played it recently. So it's like you're kind of just the gamers just want your games. And all that I'll even for Power Stone, I own the Dreamcast, I own the systems, I own all these like things already. I own a Switch. I would love to play that stuff at more than 30 frames, you know, and that's really the biggest thing is like, bro, this system is so out of date. Even on the Nintendo Direct, stuff looked out of date. I was like, goodness. And then so you want us to buy these games and let them play out of date? No, I think I'm about to at least get the frames by playing it over here. I'll still support. I want to play the game. So yeah, it's I mean, they have the right. I will say that if we could somehow have a subscription to emulate somehow, we would do that too. Like, trust me, we would love to pay that. There's so many games we would love to go back and play, but I think they are they may be shooting themselves in the foot because I think they're just going to enrage the people who did it, and they're going to come back. And obviously they have a fan base. The emulation has a fan base, so they're going to do it whatever they can to get it up and run again. It's going to be a name change, and we're going to get it back up. You know, so yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, because you never know, man.
Yeah, they just went after that one piece, though, right? That you can't tell them how to hack it. Right?
No. So I'm glad you asked that question, Hargeet, because I did take some notes, and it says that Nintendo's asking for $2,500 for every single violation of the anti-circumvention and the anti-trafficking, as well as $150K for each copyright violation. I think they really had a huge problem when it came to dumping those games. They wanted that million sales, bro. They said whoever dumped that game is made us upset. So. And lastly, it said also wants to take away the domain names, URLs, chat rooms, and social media presence, and even seize and destroy hard drives to wipe out the emulator itself.
Jesus.
So to Skellington's point, he said that it ain't gonna stop. Nintendo is trying to make an example out of this company.
Yep.
So they said, we're going to sue you into oblivion to where you can't even produce anymore. We're going to wipe you off the internet and take the hard drives where you had this software present. So they're pretty serious about this one, man. So.
We got backups, baby. Sorry. I'm joking. Right.
Well, what do you think about it, though, Viking?
I get so frustrated with this shit, man, when it comes to, first of all, I don't like, people are going to emulate whatever games they want to, right? People are going to pirate, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to do those things. And there stands a fair argument for pirating, right? When it comes, and this is my stance, right? I purchased a game just like as if I would, I know it's two different mediums, but I purchased a movie, right? That movie doesn't tell me what DVD player to put it in or what brand to put it in to play it, right? My thing is, I bought the game. If I bought the game on Nintendo, I feel comfortable with playing that motherfucker wherever I want to, because I already paid you for the game. like, and that's one thing that bothers me about like Call of Duty is like, I would buy it on Xbox, but then I can't play it on my PC. Same game, right? So then I have to, like, some years I have to double dip because sometimes I want to play on my PC versus on my Xbox, right? Like, I should just be able to play. I know there's like licensing issues, but like, there's no other medium that does that. Is there?
That straps you to the medium that you're going to play it on? Just consoles. Yeah, I think just consoles.
It's weird. It's completely, it's just really weird to me. And I get it that, you know, games cost more to make sometimes than like movies, or sometimes than movies or whatever. But shit, man, like, I don't call anybody a thief for emulating, especially for a game that's been shelved for so long, right? And then the company just decides not to like sell it or let you play it anymore. Like, yeah, in Power Stone,
right?
We're playing it. Like, I want to play it. I'm not about to buy buy it again, or buy a Dreamcast just to play it. Like, I'm playing it. You know what I mean? I think that Nintendo is in a unique situation to where a lot of people, like, it might be underpowered, but Nintendo is very innovative when it comes to what they do with their hardware, right? Like the gyro on the controllers, you can change that one controller to two once you undock it, you know what I mean? And then whatever, and a lot of people would still buy it. Like, hear me out. A lot of kids, I'm almost positive, mostly kids play on Nintendo. I wonder what the average age of Nintendo players are, right? It's probably older people, right? Or younger people, right? And then like some of us diehards are stuck in between to where that's like our neutral system that we always get every time one releases, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But your core base, your 70% of your base will not play those games, Animal Crossing or Mario Kart on a PC. Put your games on PC. Like a lot of people will double dip also.
Boy,
right?
Animal Crossing would do numbers
on PC. Yeah. But a lot of kids, you know what I mean? Like my youngest have a Switch. They're 8. They're not getting on a PC right now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of 6-year-olds have Switches, like to play Pokemon or whatever. Like, yeah, they're in a unique situation to where they could make more money with putting their stuff on PC, kind of just like PlayStation, right? But like they just don't. Like, and I don't know why they get mad, because they get mad when other people emulate their games on there. That should tell you there's a need and a want for it. Right. Especially with 1 million, right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Definitely, man.
There's going to be tons of emulators. Keep on emulating.
It's not stopping.
And then they provide the platform for it, but do they do the dropping of the games on that platform?
Oh no. Usually these companies like stay super far away from giving you everything you need to have, you know, in order to make everything work. So
it's all split up.
Yeah.
But once it's there.
So I'm curious though. Let's say I'm on a Microsoft system right now, right? And let's say there's a website to where I can download or pirate the game or something or peer-to-peer, right? Like, can they go after, like, if there's 1 million downloads that way, can they go after Microsoft for it happening on their platform?
Oh,
well, they can go on the site. Whoever's hosting that copyrighted material they can go after them.
Yeah. So why don't they go after the hosted person that dropped the material on Yuzu, opposed to just going to Yuzu as a whole?
That's a great
question.
question.
Usually on Yuzu, as far as like the actual like game or something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be this obfuscated thing where you like click on a link, which goes to another link, which goes to another link, which goes to another link, which is a temporary link to some other temporary link, which has a temporary, like dump somewhere. You might get it.
You might get it. Yeah. You might get it.
It's not like they put it on like a like Dropbox or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not that simple.
It is a whole process to do for sure.
Yeah, so it's not that simple.
So why is Yuzu getting in trouble?
Well, to be honest, man,
the instructions, I think that's it, right?
Yeah,
they tell you literally how.
Yuzu tells you how to port.
Reportedly, I looked for myself today. I couldn't find
maybe they pulled it,
instructions. Right? Yeah, they could have pulled it for legal reasons, because I went and looked immediately, because that's a huge no to tell you how to do it.
Yeah. So
they're really
that should have been dropped on Reddit and then left it at that. You know what I mean?
You know, anonymous.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think they're really upset about because Nintendo's always been sticklers about emulation and their IPs and stuff like that. And they probably wouldn't be super upset about it if it wasn't them stepping on their toes in real time with their current product. You know, so this is like Nintendo Switch stuff happening right now. So they're losing out on money, like big money, instead of just like an old Super Nintendo game that you can get online.
It's that Power World pressure. Everything is hot over there right now and stuff, man.
They sent out that letter when Power World came out, like a couple days after And yeah, it's like we're not going to name the game, but
Yeah.
no, we gotta sue somebody. Somebody's getting sued. We gotta get somebody. I feel it. I mean, it's their games, man. They made the games. I get it, but if we can't, bro, you made such good games that you made a hardcore fan base. If we don't have access to it, bro, I'm not about to go buy, like Viking was saying, a Dreamcast, and then I'm going to go buy adapters because they don't work on HDMI TVs, and then I'm going to have to buy a controller, and then it might not work because it's old and used. I've tried. No.
Yeah. Chat, y'all playing? Y'all would play Nintendo games if it came to PC, if it was readily available like that? What would y'all do? But Viking, I got another one for you, man. Because since you were talking about like what you should be able to do with your own product, man, what rights should you have when you purchase a product
as a consumer?
As a consumer, yep.
If the technology can run it and it's available on there, then I should be able to, like, once I purchase it once. Okay, let's just say like the Apple TV store. The Apple TV has its own device, which I love, right? Where you have all you can play your games on there that you have from the arcade, and then has all the Netflix, Hulu, but also has its own store, right? And I purchase, let's just say, Interstellar, right? That store exists fucking everywhere. I don't have to rebuy it because it's on a different system.
Right.
Like, as a consumer, I've already paid for the license to watch this movie. So I should be able to watch it wherever the fuck I want to. I should be able to even download it and upload it to my hard drive and watch it. I paid for it.
Yeah.
No? I mean,
they go a step further with Movies Anywhere, right? That you can even link it. You can link your purchase with Google, with Xbox, with Vudu, with what, like, they just all crosstalk, and
they do. Yeah,
you buy it one place, you can play it wherever you want. Like that. That should be the kind of the process we have for everything. It'd be nice if we did that.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
Now there is a company trying to push that. Xbox.
Play anywhere.
Play anywhere,
right?
Yeah, it's. I think it's the most consumer friendly thing. Like, I just shelled out $25, sometimes if it's early, $30 for a movie, and yeah, let me watch that shit wherever I want to.
Yeah,
it's mine. So
it's mine.
It's like the only. What else does that? Like, what other product does that besides games?
Maybe phones, but there's only like 2 competitive phone things, so it's either this or that. But even then, hackers, they get it, and I run the same, but they'll have some version of it.
Well, the App Store and the Google Store, I think that's actually, aren't they gonna? They're trying
happening. Yep, that's
right now. They're about to start breaking that up too.
Yeah, you'll be able to upload, Google Play Store on your iPhone device and all that. So
Steve Jobs wouldn't like this. I'm calling it. Nah. Sorry.
That's funny. Yeah.
You have any Skellington? That's all you got, Viking?
Yeah.
I bet. So Skellington, do you have anything to comment about, like consumer rights, man? Like, what rights should you have when you own these products, when you're purchasing these products?
I pretty much agree with Viking. Just, I bought it. I should be able to play it wherever I want. Now, I understand, and like he said as well, if it was released on it, then I should be able to play it like wherever. So, yeah, I do agree, but I feel like we're in such a different time with like digital that it's just like it either is going to become. I know y'all may not want to hear that everything's just going to be blended. There's not going to be an Xbox, a Sony, a Nintendo. It's just going to be gaming, and you just pick games from a pool. Like, I feel like that's what it's going to come down to, and that's what pretty much solves everything, unfortunately. But we won't have our favorite. We'll just have our favorite games. We won't have favorite brands anymore. Yeah. So,
and if that happened, that actually might introduce third-party console makers and put those stores on there, you know what I mean? And that will further drive competition, which I think would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm
all for the healthy competition, man.
Yeah.
And let's just say Nintendo, they don't even have competition. That'll be my ending point. Ooh, why, bro? Y'all don't need this money. I already paying y'all. I just bought my mom Mario Kart for Christmas. I'm not even joking. Like full price.
Yeah, Mario Kart. Yeah, still full price. And Mario
How many
Kart
more
has
copies they need to sell?
How many
They
more?
They sold 120 million copies of Mario Kart, bro. 120 million.
To be honest, if I sold that many, I wouldn't make another one either, bro.
I know, right? I know,
10 more
right?
years.
I know.
Bruh.
Oh man. Shout out to Mario Kart. It's a good game overall. Of
It
course.
is.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Before I move on to Fuzzy, man, Mikey, you want to grab these?
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Grumpy Shaman with the $5 super chat says Nintendo went for Yuzu because they put early builds of the emulator behind a paywall.
Oh, they selling. Oh,
no.
You can't be selling that.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
Somebody failed on that one.
Oh, it has to be completely free for the most part. It's like, no. We're only supposed to be scared.
Bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Adidas 20
Mm-hmm.
member for 1 month says mustard. Oh my God. See, money gonna get you, man.
Mustardo.
Oh man, that's actually pretty cute. And I think whenever See Money comes on my show, I'm gonna make a AI mustard thing like that and have it as his avatar.
Oh, I made a bunch. He doesn't like mustard or olives.
Okay. All right.
Mustardo.
Oh my God.
Olives.
Mustard and olives. That boy puking right now. Looking at the screen. Oh my God.
That is funny.
Adidas 20 came back with the 5. It says, I'm here. He outside.
Yeah.
What's up, Adidas 20? Blessings to you, man.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you. All this money. If you guys don't know, you just now tuning in. First of all, hit that like and subscribe button. If you're new and you like what we putting down, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate that. I think we was like 10 away from, we was like in this exact same position. We was like 13 away from 1,500. And like now we're 10 away from 1,600. So like, yeah, man, that's hella dope, man.
All thanks to y'all, man.
Up in the chat.
Appreciate y'all.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, all the money gets donated to the Boys and Girls Club and by way of buying gaming equipment and gear. I think our goal 6,000, and we have reached. And listen, guys, this is fucking crazy. So it's only been like 33 days since we were monetized, and we've already raised, thanks to y'all, $1,019 so far. And we got till December 5th. And if it goes over, it goes over, baby. We spending the money. You know what I'm saying? We spending it on the kids.
All of
it. And yeah, man, I can't thank y'all enough. So all of it goes to that. We got till December 5th to raise as much as we possibly can, and we're gonna spread that gaming wealth. You know what I mean? So it'll be dope. It'll be hella dope. But yeah, all right, yeah, go ahead, Nova. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you guys again, man. But Fuzzy, man, what do you think should be the consumer rights for the people who are buying these products out here?
Yeah, when it comes to digital stuff, I'm one of those that when they were talking about NFTs, and it's still, you know, that 3-letter word or whatever you want to call it kind of thing, but instead of trying to sell it where it's like, oh, you have this concept of an item that you could use anywhere, why don't we just make all the digital purchases the equivalent of like an NFT in its raw, its raw form, where you own the content, you can either trade it, sell it, pass it on to family, and have it where it's playable on other platforms, which I'm sorry about my cat having a crying fit right now. But when it comes to like back when music was on a lot of these stores, they would have like their own format, like Microsoft's Groove Music, I think was like Waveform. I forget what the 3-letter code was for like iTunes, but you could, in a lot of them, you could always convert it to an MP4, which was playable anywhere, or MP3 that you could play anywhere. And the same thing with a lot of the movies. Some of them were in different codec forms, but you could always have it converted to MP4 to play it wherever you want. So games should almost be that same way, to the point where if you buy the game digitally, and I really hope at some point Nintendo realizes that they're kind of cutting off their fingers to make up for that million that they didn't sell. They could have made that easily on their own if they just have it where, okay, you buy it on PC, or you buy it digitally in our store. You can play it on your PC. You can play it on your phone if your phone is powerful enough to do so, or you could play it on the Switch, which, at some point that's not going to be powerful enough for some of those games. But you should, I agree with you guys. You should be able to take your digitally owned stuff wherever and be able to do it with whatever you want. Now, the stipulations would be, okay, you can't share it and reproduce it or copy it and distribute it type of thing. But as long as you made the purchase, and let's say it's a movie or whatever, and you want to entertain, family guests and stuff like that, so be it. As long as you're not charging admissions, the little small print that they always talk about on like some of the broadcast shows and things like that. But yeah, for the most part, you should be able to play it, take it wherever you want, use it however you see fit. Just, try not to, resell it or something along those lines. Is pretty much it.
Right. So just essentially, hey, let me be able to do whatever I want with the game and play wherever I want with the game. Just make it into to where you can't resell it. Yeah. What do you think about that, Hargeet?
Digital rights. What a fun topic, right? So I actually reached out to my senator about this. I think digital rights need to be revamped entirely. Because here's another problem. Let's say you buy something and you pass away. What happens to your stuff?
Gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's not the case if I own a whole bunch of Blu-ray discs. It's not the case if I have a whole bunch of cartridges. It just goes to your inherited, right? Whoever inherits your stuff, they get it. So why should your digital library be any different? A lot of our stuff is digital. That's a lot of money, right? It's an asset.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be treated like an asset. So it should have inheritance rights, right? It should be treated like an asset that you own and can pass along and say, well, if I'm incapacitated, it goes to my brother or my sister or whatever, right? Or my kids. You should have those capabilities, right? We don't really have this well-defined, and the digital world is just starting. And so it should be much more than just, hey, I should be able to take my thing and use it wherever I want. I should be able to take my thing and give it to whomever I want as well, because that's what I can do. I can take my bottle of water and give it to whoever I like. It's mine, right? I can't do that with digital assets. That's a fail. And that's something that needs to be resolved industry-wide, right? So, and it may just require governments to come in and step in and say, no, it's got to be treated like an asset you own. Right. As an owner of a device or as an owner of a piece of whatever, I should be able to do what I want with it. It's mine. Right. So it's right up to now. It's all been you have a license to use. That's baloney. Right. At some point, it's got to be no, I acquire. It's mine. I got to do what I want to do what I want with it. Right. And so that ownership transition needs to really happen. Up to now, it's been okay. They've been kind of doing it this way. But now it's too far down the road to say you can take it back. No, you can't just take it back. I paid you money. It's mine. So we got to get to a point where that's understood. So yes, a lot of the things you're saying valid, but I would take it a step further and say, how do you make that into an actual asset and treat it as an actual asset? And then it's my asset, and I have deserved rights about that asset, and I should be able to do things with my asset. Right. So at some point it needs to go that far, and the governments need to step in, because I don't know if the industry is going to do it on their own. It's too distributed, and people don't have any company doesn't have any vested interest in making sure that you maintain your asset. Right. It's in their interest to say you don't have your asset and that your kids have to rebuy everything. Right. Instead of me, like, here's my music library, I give it to my kids. Right. Why shouldn't that be a thing? Well, it isn't. Well, that's crap. Even if it's your husband or wife, they technically don't have access. That's bullshit. It should be automatic. right?
We should
But
we should get
that
our
isn't the
EU
case.
we should get our EU brothers and sisters on the case because
It could be them. It could be us. I don't care who does it, right? It could be Japan. I don't care
I'm
who
just
does
saying,
it, but somebody has to step
to
in.
when it comes to consumer rights, they're usually the ones
They generally tend
first
to be
that get
further
it.
ahead.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing, right? And so somebody needs to step in and say, no, you bought this, it's yours, then it belongs to your family, and it should continue, right? That's the way it should be. Now, good, we're in an infancy stage. I get it. We let the technology kind of make itself happen, but at some point, you do have to put in those rights. And so, yes, I think it really needs to get to that point where you own this. As a clearinghouse that says you own this, it can then you'll go to a court and say it now transfers that person, right? And they now own it, right? Something like that has to happen. And I don't know when that happens, but it should happen. So I agree with all the things that you can play it anywhere, do whatever you want. It's not just Nintendo though; it's across the board. My movie collection, I have a whole bunch of movies, whether it's digital, physical, whatever it is. They should transfer to whoever I say is my inheritor, right? They should be able to get whatever I say. Yeah, everything I own is that person's. Therefore, they get it, including my digital library, right? Right now, even looking into it, how do you do that? Best thing you can do is say, do you have like a password thingy that you put your passwords in? Just make sure they can access your passwords. Well, that's an answer. Really? That's the answer.
And that may even violate some type of terms of services somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's like, no. This needs to be clarified that, hey, as a person that owns something, I can let that go to the next person that I allow inheritance of my stuff. Right. So it should absolutely happen.
I was saying the same thing when about like Counter-Strike, how their knives are worth so much money. I'm like, if I pass away, I really hope my kid gets that somehow. I don't have kids.
Yeah, right.
Hypothetical, like that should be able to pass everything because those skins being worth thousands of dollars is crazy. If I own that, imagine like your dad, you play that game, he passed away, you play that game, you see that knife on there. That's a rare artifact you kind of have to sell off. It's like you should be able to like let this stuff go everywhere. So I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Elder sibling to a younger sibling, same kind of thing. Hey, like I bought all this stuff, I don't need it anymore. I'll give it to my younger sibling.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Why not? Right, that stuff needs to happen. They need to kind of figure out how to make that work, right? And I don't think they'll do it unless the governments come in and say you got to do it, right? So there have to be laws to say that's got to be the way. You own it, it's yours.
I don't think they'll do it either, man, because I feel like a lot of companies have been doing this for quite some time. Even with the hardware space, if you open your console and you repair it yourself without having the company do it, you're voiding warranties at that point, right?
Right over the screw, it says, "Do this, you're done."
Exactly.
And even that's changing, right? Even that's changing now. So governments are saying, no, you got to right to repair. You got to be able to repair stuff. Yeah.
Exactly, man. So yeah, we definitely need some type of rights, man, to protect the consumer to when we buy things with our hard-earned money that it's actually ours. But that's all I have to say on it, Viking.
All right, bet, man. Let me get Delilah HD came in with the 10 bomb. She said, maybe Nintendo should just have their own launcher on PC. I'm sure they just want to avoid the PC optimization cost. What do they need to optimize? It runs on the freaking ridiculous abacus that gets called the Switch. Are you kidding me?
They scared of the modders, man.
Delilah, thank you very much for the 10. For sure, man.
Thank you.
Make sure that money goes to good use. And
appreciate it.
If there was a launcher on PC, bro, people would buy more PC handhelds like the Raw or the Claw. Oh my god. Could you imagine? And then like my Zelda game will run at 60, 100 frames. You know what I mean? Oh,
finally,
man.
I get that launcher for sure, bro.
Oh yeah.
Imagine the mods that would take your Zelda and give it like real textures, and it would actually look like a freaking modern game. Holy crap!
Yes, that's what Pokemon needs, because Game Freak been sucking lately when it comes to oh my god, that's probably shit a brick when Power World came out.
Well, I'm telling you, they still feeling it. I still hear about Power World and stuff. Like it's still going. Like
I think it's still top 5 in Steam. I think.
If it wasn't for Helldivers, it'd still be popping off. Helldivers came in and kind of is running shit at the moment.
It's not above Power World still, I don't think.
I don't know if it is because it keeps growing. It's now 15 million on Steam, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
And
That's
10 million on Xbox, which is
Yeah,
a crazy
25 million
number.
players. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Absolute nuts, man. So, I think we'll go ahead and go to Scales topic, man. Go ahead and set us up.
Well, while we're in the era of handheld gaming becoming pretty crazy, PC handheld gaming specifically booming off, there's another one trying to get into the market, and it is called the Pocket Go. Doesn't even sound powerful, but it's by a company named Techno. They're based out of China, and they were a mobile mobile phone company. I don't know why my notice like this. Anyway. But they've came out with a little handheld. It has no screen on it, but it comes paired with AR goggles, thin ones too. Kind of sleek, not like VR, small. And I thought out some tech specs what they have on it. Comes with the AMD Ryzen 7 8840 HS processor, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage, SSD, Radeon 780M GPU. It's the same GPU pretty essentially as a Yanyo. I don't know.
Ioneo.
Thank you very much. I wrote that I was going to mess that up. I even looked it up and heard other people say it, and I still didn't feel right about it. Sorry.
That's how it be sometimes. It's all good.
Like that. And then the glasses they come are supposed to simulate pretty much a 215-inch TV. And so it's going to be able to run Steam. It has a replaceable battery as well, so you can. That was kind of special to me. Cool. I was like, dang, you can just buy like 5 batteries and have them ready to go. I know 5 is excessive, but that'll give you unlimited mobility. Like you're good if you got a stack of batteries.
Well, you can also just have a belt power pack, right? Because it'll just plug in to charge, right? So just charge it up, keep running it charged.
Yep. It is. So I'm just curious of what do y'all think about this coming into the game? Do you think it's a competitor? And also, do you like the creativity of it? I'm sure that the goggles are just USB-C and you can just plug them into anything, which is also kind of cool as well because you just get a pair of AR goggles with this with speakers on the goggles as well. So, yeah, what do you guys think? I'll start with you, Fuzzy.
Hey, can I correct myself really quick?
Sure.
I don't like spitting nonsense. Helldivers is number 2 as far as current players, and Power World's number 5 on Steam.
I was saying, it's hot. I'm enjoying it as well. So that's just from my perspective. But dang, came in.
Wow.
But I'll start with you, Fuzzy. How do you feel about this device? Does it intrigue you at all?
Oh yeah, it definitely sounds cool, and it's funny. Like a lot of people I know that have handhelds are now starting to use some of these goggles as well for screens with their either their Steam Deck or their ROG Ally and stuff like that, which it makes it so you now have like a larger screen in front of you. For us with older eyes and stuff like that, it's a good way to get more pixels in front of you without having to connect it to a TV via like a hub or something like that. But if it's already built in where you get the goggles, you have a little bit more of a potent chip with it, a little bit more or definitely better options as far as charging on the go kind of thing, like a battery pack or whatnot. That might be the better go between, or like the next phase where instead of handhelds, or for those that are opposed to particular handhelds and things like that, you could possibly go with like have it where the handheld unit itself is clipped to you. Use your controller, have it where it's doing the Bluetooth or something along those lines. That might be the best of all worlds kind of thing. So I probably want to look this up to see what timeline it is before it's released kind of thing. But that sounds like a good alternative to having a full-on handheld and not having to worry about like Joy-Cons or anything along those lines where you might have more options to go with. So that sounds pretty cool.
Glad to hear that. Look, can I point that in chat? In chat, they said, I'm just trying to when I correct myself too. I swear when I looked this up, it said that they're a Chinese company. Someone in the chat said African. I'm not trying to discredit any country or continent, nothing. but I swear I said Chinese, but I may be looking at the wrong company somehow. But thank you, Fuzzy. I think that you make good points on that as well. I think that's going to be kind of crazy. Same question for you, Hargeet. Does this device interest you at all? If you know, at all?
Yeah. So I mean, it's what I'm expecting to be the next disruptor is AR, not VR, but AR. Because you can see, okay, this is on gaming, but just imagine that's your phone, right? You don't need to have a freaking display on this thing. It could just be that, and that's it. Just glasses is your interface. And then you could just be walking around with things that point to the real world, because that's an input and output device, right? And so it can see the real world and tell you, oh, hey, that's that store. It's open from now to now. It has, there's the menu if you want to click on it and see the menu, like just simple, stupid things like that, right? Where it becomes interactive with the world around you. And you have a massive view field of stuff, and you can have stuff on the background that like pings you. Hey, somebody's sending you a, an X message or whatever it is, right? And you can like, look at it. Oh, okay, cool. Let me see what that is, and it just brings it to the forefront, and there you go, and you just see it, right? But you're still in the real world. You're still seeing the real world. Like I'm expecting that to be the next disruptor, right? And then the power comes from something like this. Could be sitting in your pocket, doesn't matter, right? And this thing just happens to take off as the actual interface. Right? It changes the world. And then when you get to gaming can now change entirely, right? The game can be more dynamic to the room you're in, right? And say, I'm going to make the game function within your room and take account of the table, the, whatever you have in your room, right? The chairs, the sofa, whatever it is, and make it part of the game. And then you can actually have interactive. So it could just change the whole thing, right? I'm expecting that to be the next disruptor, right? Because, we can have as big a TV as you want, but having the entire world be your TV, be your gaming experience is just, that's what AR is, right? Yep. And that's what I'm looking at as the next disruptor. I don't know when it'll become that, but we're getting pretty close, right? That was where they were going to go with HoloLens, was they're like, the next version needs to be this exact thing, glasses. It's just glasses and it just runs everything and you're done. Right. But I think the better thing is to say it's glasses that hooks up to something else. It's in your pocket. It's on your belt. It doesn't matter. You don't need to do anything with this. It just needs to be the power that runs it. Right. And the CPU and GPU is there and it just does everything here. Eventually, yes, it can be all here. But right now, we don't need to do that. We need to do what they're doing. You can do it wirelessly or you can do it wired, whatever it is. So I love the idea. I love the innovation. I love that this is exactly the direction we need. This is why I want to do what I was saying. Take the entirety of Xbox and make it peripherals that are sanctioned. And that way Microsoft can work with these guys and say, it boots up, it looks like an Xbox. Yep. It brings up an Xbox UI. It gives you an Xbox, like 3D environment because it's now AR, right? And they can innovate with them and take this to the next level. But it's your Xbox catalog. You just play your Xbox games. You don't configure anything. You don't do anything. It just bloody runs. Right? That's what you want with something like this. This is going to run Windows. So for all those of you who use Windows, it's still going to have the quirks of Windows. That's unfortunately the problem with this device. So that's the thing that's kind of a negative. I would love this to just be a bloody Xbox. It's a bespoke device with an 8840. People can make their games to run on that. It has a specified amount of memory. It's going to have a specified performance to level. This would be perfect. This is what I'm looking for. Right? Allow the innovation, allow other companies to do that instead of Xbox has to do everything. Right. And I could see maybe PlayStation wanting to do this, but it's so much easier for Xbox to do it because it's Windows. Windows is everywhere. You just have to marry it to say Xbox and Windows are together. For devices that we sanction, they will run like an Xbox. Right. And you pick the 10 or so devices that do that. This would be a perfect thing like that. I would love to see that kind of thing, right? This is where innovation meets technology and software, and it makes a great ecosystem. This is the future. This is what I'm expecting, and I hope they make it happen. Because then, like, I want to take this something with me. It's a pair of glasses. It's a pair of glasses. It's so easy to take with you. You need a controller anyway, and the controller's got the computer built in. What an innovative idea. I love it. I love everything about it. The one negative I have beyond the Windows thing, power. If this thing doesn't run at 100 plus frames, having and high resolution, the jarringness of movement with a large screen it's going to be somewhat problematic. It's
For
fine
sure.
to take a 7-inch or 8-inch screen and have a 1080p or 720p because it's small. You can't really tell. When you blow that up to 200, everything that isn't very detailed is blown up
Yeah.
to be very not detailed.
Exactly.
That's
so
true.
it's just one thing that you have to worry about. So they have to scale correctly. And again, like a gen or so from now, having AI upscale built in, having all that capability, it'll make it be fine. But like this is the path we need to be on. This is definitely the way to go. I'm totally looking forward to like 15 years from now. We'll say, what TV? What is TV?
Right.
Like, I just put my glasses on. My TV is a virtual thing that shows up on my my wall. Right. Like it could absolutely be that way. We just wait to get to there, to that point. This is a step in that direction, though. That's what I would love to see more of this. I love it. I love this innovation. I love that they're looking at that. I'm hoping for much more. I'm hoping for one that's like, say, you have to plug it into power, but it's like 3 times more powerful.
Right.
It's your Series X in your
that
control
Pro version. Mhm.
Right. I would love that.
Mhm.
So, but that's what we need to get to. I love this, though. I love this as a stepping stone. Would I get it? It just depends on how much it is.
Right.
Right. We'll just have to see how much they charge for it. But
Right.
very, very cool idea. Very cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That is pretty much where I'm at with it as far as innovation meeting technology. I love gadgets, man. I'm a big James Bond guy, Tom Cruise and Mission, but I love gadgets. That looks like a nice gadget and it seems a little powerful.
Oh, Bruce Wayne over there.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, that's my dog. Big Bruce Wayne. He a real dude, just got a lot of gadgets and hands. He's a ninja as well. And money. Well, we ain't talking about Batman. but I think I'll kick it to you, Supernova. Does this interest you at all? How do you feel about it?
How I feel about it, I want to kind of get.
If I get,
Yeah,
mind if
I was
I
about
get
to say.
these? Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, let me get
Yeah.
Goat Gaming wants some of that hashtag horn action. You know what I'm saying? We want.
It's so close, bruh.
So close.
The wording is so close.
He hits us with not just one, well, not just 5, but look at that, 10 Longhouse Gaming Podcast memberships. Listen, they don't call you the GOAT for no reason. He gifted Brian Majestic, Heavy Core Project, Sean Smith, Bobby Sy, Web Dave, Zach Riley, Big Mad Mo, PK Thunder. Whoa, what else? Bars,
Yeah.
bars.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the bar.
ODG the Toy Man and AB with Longhouse memberships. Y'all throw up the set if y'all can. Throw up the set. Y'all green now. And Goat did that so I can blow this horn twice. Let's see if I can go 3 for 3 now. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Another one.
Okay.
Oh, I catch my breath. Ta-da!
Okay.
3 for 3. Actually, I'm 5 for 5 this week, Playboy.
Okay, you said put some respect on your name, huh?
Respect on there. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about. Green Crew. Y'all throw up the set. Gang all day.
That Goat Gaming for sure. The GOAT.
That's why they call it the GOAT. Yo, just for that, I might make a video or whatever that comes up on the screen with somebody gifts. That's why they call him the GOAT.
So good.
That is good.
The GOAT Gaming says I'm the most hated person on Twitter. If we're going to be honest here, you're not the most hated. You're not the most hated. That would go to the red wagon. The red wagon. All right, go ahead, man. But thank you for you gifted 15 today.
Yeah.
Shit, boy. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you for real.
Boy, coming in
appreciate
clutch.
And Chad, if y'all didn't thank Goat for that, man, please go do that, man. That's huge.
Please.
It's huge. And hit that like button if you haven't either, man. But I'll go ahead and hop right into it, Scale. So this particular console reminds me of, I may be dating myself here, man, but does anybody remember that console called R-Zone? It was made by Tiger back in the day, like 95-ish. And like you played on the console and it had like a little scanner, looked like Dragon Ball Z, that you would put over your eye and it would be all red. It was red, bro. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. So things do go full circle after a while, man. So originally I got excited. I'm like, okay. So I went to do a little bit of research and saw the stats and stuff that Hargeet talked about a little bit earlier. But I was a little, I wanted to reserve my excitement because there was a lot of stuff that was missing. Like the 215-inch screen, it sounds great at 6 meters, right? It sounds great. But I don't know what the resolution of this screen is, like Hargeet said, like I needed some specifics on that. I don't know a price point, so it makes it very difficult for me to gauge how powerful this thing really is going to be. Right. So I don't have a release date, no price point. Also, not that many pictures of the device and people using it from what I saw.
Yeah.
So it seemed from the little bit of pictures that we have seen, it seems like the glasses themselves are tethered to the controller. The controller's doing all the heavy lifting, also like Hargeet said earlier. So the controller definitely, it looks like it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting too. It's quite large of a controller, so I don't know if that's going to be super comfortable to have in hand. But just hearing Hargeet talk about it actually gave me some hope, really. So I'm like, okay, like, maybe there's some stuff that I'm missing out on here when it comes to them not listing the specifics, but it may be a lot better than initially it came off to me, man. But I think I'm excited.
Love to hear it, man. I think it's gonna be interesting. And you're right, man. There is no price point. This shit could be $1,000, bro. It could be 300, 500. We can't really gauge power. Unfortunately, isn't that crazy? Unfortunately, we can't gauge the power without knowing the price. That's sad times, man. I mean, I guess that's all time, but it's sad. It's just sad.
Yeah.
But you're right, man. I definitely agree with what you're saying. It is hard to get hyped when we don't have all the information. So appreciate that, man. What about you, Mr. Viking? What do you think about this device?
I think it's cool as a concept. When I was reading like the specs on it, I wasn't sure. I missed it, but it's a huge miss if there's not a USB-C to a HDMI for that controller, right? So that whenever I do want to play on a monitor, all I have to do is plug it into any type of monitor or TV. That way I can just start playing that way. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Unless they come out with some cool ass frames, I'm not going out in public with this shit. Like I'm not.
I mean, the frames don't look bad, but understand, it is Windows, right? So you can just use USB-C, and it will just give you, like, you can get a USB-C to HDMI. And plug it into a TV. So because it's just Windows.
It's just Windows. USB-C on top. I think the glass is just a USB-C dongle type.
There's 2 USB-C ports on the top of it.
All right.
So you can just plug in USB-C to whatever you want.
Okay. So I'm cool.
It's just Windows.
That's perfect. Because like
Delilah says indoors only.
Indoors, yes, 100%.
I'm more so thinking about hotels and stuff. Like
Yeah, but like when I take my ROG with me, like I take it to work, like when I used to ride the bus in Norway, like I'm on the bus there, playing it, or just like on a flight or whatever. Like I'm not taking it unless they look like these frames. Like I'm not, I can't do it. They gotta look like some aviators or something. I personally can't do it, bro, because most of them look like, I think, didn't they look like some Oakleys or something like that?
I think as far as like goggle tech, they look all right, especially being able to, they're just like for your game. So I'm just, I mean, I understand what you're saying. You want some style with your glasses. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then like another thing, like with, let's say I have the ROG Ally. Well, since it is Windows, it probably does have Bluetooth. So like if I want to use a different controller, then I could use it, because I was thinking about like stick drift and buttons getting messed up. Like that's the whole device in there, just like ROG or whatever. But like with my ROG, most of the time, not most of it, unless I'm on the bus or whatever, like I'll have it perched up on like a desk or something and play with my Xbox Elite controller.
Right.
But yeah, I'll just and then I don't know what the price point is. You guys don't know. We don't know what the resolution is. It seems like a fantastic idea. Like it seems like cool, right? But the functionality, I guess, when it comes to like a lot of people aren't going to be seen outside wearing them glasses. Even if I have company over, bro, like I'm not, I'm not dog, and I'm not that shallow. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not wearing them glasses.
Can't affect my drip, he says.
Wearing them outside, that wasn't my where I'd be using them at personally. No, it's more so. I'm more so thinking of this as being a nice travel console type of thing that I don't have to have a nice TV for as well. It's like if I'm going on a trip and I have this at my hotel, I'm geeked to stay inside in my hotel and just I have a whole thing with a nice screen as well. That's kind of where walking around. I don't know.
I think where this goes into play is that it'll be in competition without trying to be in competition with stuff like the MetaQuest 3. Right? Because I can play game like my Game Pass and stuff like that from my MetaQuest 3. Like if I'm just using it indoors anyway, plus I have more functionality with it. With like the different types of games you could play with the virtual reality and stuff like that. Plus I can connect my Xbox controller and play whatever, as long as I have decent internet or whatever. But like in the future, when all this stuff is running good, it's still going to be competing to the Quest 4 or 5. Because then probably by then you'd be able to download bigger games natively. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I think it's competing in two different. And none of us like change, right? People will still be used to. They want their Switch, like they want that screen right there. Like it's a cool piece of tech. You'll have some early adopters. If you're listening, you can send me one for review whenever it comes out. I'll love it.
Send all of us one. He said me. Send us one.
He said pass it on to me.
He said I'll take one.
But yeah, it's going to be competing probably against both handheld and
VR.
VR. Yeah, that's my opinion though. Yeah.
Gotcha. Appreciate it, man. Y'all, what else y'all got? Any more takes? What you got something to say, Nova?
Nah, I was just about to say, like me, man, when I hop on a long flight, I'm throwing the VR headset on. I don't care what nobody think around me. I be crazy in that thing, bro. I get out that headset, I forget that I was even on the plane. So
on the plane is great. I could not imagine. I've never done that, but I could not imagine.
Bro, I was looking around. It felt like I was in a theater, packed in that thing like a sardine, boy.
That would be hilarious. That's the best movie you can. Can you imagine what you're watching? You are watching something, so you're like just having a good old time on the plane.
I'm on like the 5th row in the theater. You know what I'm saying? Just watching a movie. Yeah.
Indeed.
But that was it.
Now, the one quick thing I wanted to say, like, when somebody on Twitter had asked about like Xbox with consoles and things like that, and what they thought the future would bring, I think this next generation is going to be like your standard, behind or under the TV standard console and possibly a handheld. But the generation after that, I think something like this is going to be more of the norm, and not just for Xbox, but across the board kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like I was envisioning, like, how they've been great with controllers all this time, and just imagine like an Elite Series, like at that point, it'd be like an Elite Series 4 or 5 where it has an AI chip built in. The AI chip can also help with the resolution aspect because they're already working on their own in-house DLSS/FSR kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if you have that built into that controller, that's all you really need. And then you can either run it through the app on your TV or something along those lines type of deal on any of the games you want to stream. And hopefully streaming will be a little bit better than what it is today. So you'd either have that, or you can run it natively, where, maybe it has like this one, it has like a terabyte of storage on there. That should be enough to run most games. And hopefully they can get compression to where you can have like at least like 5 to 10 games on there. And that will be your new basic console. You don't need to necessarily have like a mini tower PC, because at that point that, controller itself will be powerful enough to run, games close to what we have today, if not better than what we have today, kind of thing. So I could totally see that being, the thing moving forward in like the next 5 to 10 years. So.
Okay.
That'd be nuts.
1 terabyte, the size of what 4 Call of Duties right there, man.
There it is. Pretty much.
No, that shit is, Call of Duty is now 300
gigs.
Yes.
No, it's not, bro.
Yes,
that shit is not 300.
On my Xbox, it's 320 gigs, bro. It's 300 gigs.
Plus half the hard drive, or half it. Man,
yeah,
what are we gonna do? I remember when a gig was a lot.
Yeah, I was like, where's all this going? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, in the digital phase, it might just ship with a hard drive itself. You know what I mean?
The expansion pack style. So you it comes with it. Gotta have.
Comes with a hard drive, bro.
It comes with a whole hard drive. I'm gonna need that, because you ain't taking up all that space on my hard drive. It's like, bro, I gotta delete stuff for you. I gotta upgrade my computer for you. No, or my no.
100%.
Imagine the time it takes to download.
Yeah. There's no worse download than Flight Simulator on PC.
You're 100% right. 100% right. Yep.
Because the first time I downloaded it on PC, like I thought it was done, and then I opened it, and it's like it had to do the most craziest download shit ever. Literally, I started like in the afternoon, like 1 or something, bruh. I wasn't able to play till the next day. And I was in Norway, and I had fast internet. Very fast.
Yeah, that creme de la creme out there. I remember.
Very good.
It was nuts, man. But
they break it into all kinds of updates, whether it's like, you need the Eastern Bloc update, you need the United States update. Oh, and these the racing airplane update, and it's like, wow.
It's crazy, man. All those world updates. I think they're on like 13 now, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're going cold and like this is your first time downloading,
bruh. Yeah. I did it. I only know it because I did it. I was like, bro, I just got my PC too. I was like, I literally have to let this go all day. I can't even play anything because it has to download, so I'm lagging. It's like my PC just done right now. It has to sit. But I will say it's worth though. That I've never played a game like Flight Sim for sure. I really enjoyed Flight Sim, especially if I had the peripherals. Boy,
it's like no other, man. I love playing with like all my peripherals, even like using my Meta Quest, or like I used to use my webcam as an eye tracker because there's like some third-party software that you can do or whatever. So I'd put both my monitors together, and then like I would just slightly, because you can set it like the sensitivity, you can just slightly move, and like you'll be looking out the window, and then like it's really, really, really cool. I like
imagine it on the Pocket Go. I'm joking. That shit
it ain't running, bro. That shit gonna look like Crimson Skies, bro.
I love that game though.
Hey, I was say shout out to Crimson Skies. That was a good time. But that's crazy. It would
Crimson Skies.
I ain't even heard that game in a long time. Good one. That's good Xbox days.
Yeah. All right, man. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on, man. So as y'all seen, this whole year, right? We started off with Microsoft laying off 1,900 due to the merger, and then Sony lays off 900, right? Which is 8% of their workforce. Closed the studio. They even did layoffs for Insomniac, which is the wildest thing ever because they literally carried this generation so far. And then this week you had EA layoff 670 people. And them not continuing or doing licensed games anymore. I'm seeing a trend here, right? So like they're the first person shooter Mandalorian game that Respawn was doing, canceled, gone,
missed.
And I don't even know what that's like to have a license like that with the contract and then deciding to cancel it and what that cost them or what, you know what I mean? And then so they're going to stick to their original IPs and sports games. Then you got 505 Games losing 30% of their workforce. Saber bounced out of Embracer, thank God, but they're the ones doing the KOTOR remake. So they got purchased. Do y'all remember what the price tag was? Like 500 million or something?
Yeah, 500 mil.
Yeah. And then Toys for Bob is going to go independent as well with Microsoft with a Microsoft partnership potentially. So they're getting out of the wing from Activision Blizzard. That's a lot, and it's February.
Yep.
What is happening? Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it's like overhiring from COVID. Like, yeah, but like, no. You know what I mean? Like, there's something going on. Like, budgets are getting crazy with these games. From what I'm seeing, you know, from those leaks and the Insomniac leaks and seeing what those royalty fees look like from Disney, crazy. You know, is the juice worth the squeeze at that point? You know what I mean? And then you have like, you know, Saber moving out, Toys for Bob moving out. Like the Toys for Bob one is kind of weird to me. Like maybe they just didn't want to, because they were like helping with Call of Duty and stuff like that. They weren't really able to do what they wanted to do, right? And maybe Microsoft saw them as like the juice isn't worth the squeeze for those smaller games because you're not going to get your bang for your buck, like doing all these resources. So it's probably better for them to be on their own and we collab with them on certain projects, right? That way we don't have to do the marketing for it. We don't have to do the management for that studio, blah, 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 or whatever, right? It's just contracted out. But I'm going to start with you, Fuzzy. What the fuck is happening?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, but the one thing that always grabbed my attention in the beginning of this generation was the price hike on games. And I know some people will be like, oh, it's no big deal that they went up another $10 from the previous gen. But I remember there was a debate as far as like games that are $70 and how well they sell. And I think just with the exception of maybe Call of Duty, it's one of the few, but it still has a like cross-gen component that's selling for 60.
Right.
So there's still a decent number of those that are selling at 60. But I don't think there's been a $70 game that's only $70 that sold 10 million handedly without having either bundles. Because, you know, I know some people are going to say, well, PlayStation's done it. Yeah, with bundles. And some of those bundles, especially like with Spider-Man 2, you know, Marvel gets a bigger cut. Hence why, you know, Insomniac's having to let people go. So I think this whole extra $10 thing was like that threshold too far. Like, and I know some people are fine with paying 70 and that's great. But when you're looking to, you know, continue having this mass amount of sales and you do that extra 10, yeah, you may put more money in your pocket per sale, but you're going to get less sales. Like we're not seeing that many titles reach that 20 mil mark like we used to. Like some games before, like just this, you know, previous generation, or even like things like Elden Ring didn't sell for 70, it sold for 60, and that reached the 20 mil. And the same thing with Hogwarts. So it's like maybe that's part of it. The other part of it is obviously these budgets, which I know, you know, it was mentioned before where there's a lot of people that work in the industry that are out in places where the cost of living is through the roof. Like living in California is not cheap.
Nope.
And if you have a lot of
No.
dev studios out there where you could make six figures and still almost be living on the street out there. So it's like,
Yes.
Yep.
you got to look at where these games are made. And I'm not saying, hey, move all the development to like, Kentucky or something like that, where maybe the cost of living is a lot less. But I think that's what some of these teams need to look at in the long term, or just make it where, maybe it's a smaller footprint as far as the studios that's in California. And then you have, sub studios or other portions, sprinkled throughout either the world or somewhere else in the country, just where, you're not having to pay, these high 6-figure salaries all congested in one area. I mean, sure, all the talent's located in some of those areas, but that's the thing that's kind of pricing itself out of the market. So it's like budgeting has to be taken into account, the actual cost for the games, the marketing aspect, which, putting things on buses and all that stuff may seem cool to us, but, in a grand scheme of things, putting something on like a basketball court or advertising it for a Super Bowl might be some of the things that they could possibly skip, considering how popular streaming TV is nowadays. But
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but I honestly, there's like two, I guess you could say, light spots to kind of keep an eye on. Although one of them recently didn't do as well as they probably hoped, but it did well enough to keep the lights on. And that was with Remedy for Alan Wake 2. Smaller studio, smaller budget, and it sold well, but not as well as they probably would hope for, like something that is in the AAA space. But it wasn't like a $300 million, project type of deal.
Right.
And they were able to make their money back and then some, but maybe it's not the profit margin, a Microsoft or a Sony would want from that type of investment, but it's enough to keep them going and keep them moving on to the next project. And then the next big one is going to be with Ninja Theory with Hellblade 2. A smaller studio, smaller budget, and they're doing a lot of stuff in-house as far as they're either creating the tools or getting the tools, and then building upon what they have in-house. So it's not like they're renting facilities for these motion captures or going all out on motion capture. They're doing motion capture, but it's a lot of it is stuff that they've learned over the years to kind of, finite what they need and what they don't need, and, focus those efforts accordingly. With them not, having it where it's a $300 million budget. I think the first one was like under a $20 million budget or something like that, and it made its money back and then some. I think this one might be hovering around a $50 million budget. We'll see. Yes, it's a smaller experience. It's not going to be like your 40 or 60 hour game. It's geared to be less than 20 hours and stuff. But I think that might be the step moving forward, where these teams need to, kind of scale things to say, okay, we got 50 million. That's all we can spend. And if it means it's an 8-hour or 20-hour experience, so be it. And then we'll be able to put whatever we make in profit into the next 20-hour experience, and, keep the lights on, keep everybody paid, and, keep the team whole. So that way you don't have to say, oh, well, we finished the project, we got to let 10% go, or we got to let, 8% go, or whatever the case is. So a lot of them got to start crunching numbers a little bit differently. And like, I don't know how Ubisoft does what they do, considering they make like these 100-hour experiences, and now they're charging $70, full price for something that should have been like a free to play in a way. So it'll be curious to see how that pans out. But I think there needs to be some scaling back, but I don't know. It's going to be tough for a bit. I think there's going to be some more breakouts, like your Hell Divers, your Power Worlds, where that sweet spot of $30 or $40 for a game, I think is going to be the new, I wouldn't say the new norm, but that might be the target. Like, focus on some of those, focus less on the AAA, $200, $300 million stuff. Maybe, 100 million, 150 million for a smaller version of that AAA, and go with that. And then do offshoots or do follow-up sequels, kind of like the way Miles Morales was to Spider-Man, or the way I guess Venom will be to Spider-Man 2, and have it where it's more of an offshoot or something along those lines, or have like with Halo Infinite. I know they canceled like some of the story DLC, but maybe make that story DLC more of like a episodic type of thing. That way you don't have to necessarily do the next Halo at 500 mil. You do a couple of them that are at the 50 to 100 mil range, and you have stuff that will, keep your customer base and players happy for 2-3 years in between, like the bigger installments and things like that. So
no, I
we'll see.
100% agree. I actually had a tweet. Was it yesterday? Let me read y'all some statistics. Like from 2010 to now, right? Console growth is stagnant. So you're still dealing with the same amount of customers, right? Game prices are up only 16%. Okay. US, I just did US, annual salary is up 35%, but that doesn't cause for it because the price of everything's gone up like crazy, right? Studio budgets up 150 to 337%.
300. It's crazy.
The math ain't mathing.
Uh-uh.
The game, and that's why, and I harp on this all the time, you see people scrambling to put their games on more devices because you need another consumer base, right? You saw Sony's going to go hard to the PC market soon, right? Square Enix is getting away from just being on one platform, right? Nintendo the only one that can be Nintendoing. You know what I mean?
Yep. Only one. Only one.
Right? Like their games don't cost that much. They probably still cost around the same from 2010. Right?
Yeah.
And then there's games don't go on sale. Like it's all the same. It's just the same, man. And they probably had more growth within their little section since 2010 with the Switch or whatever. Because how much has the Switch sold? It's almost surpassed PS2 levels, right?
140 so far.
Jesus.
And
Right.
they have another year and a half, and then
Yes.
they'll probably keep selling it after the new one
Yep.
comes out. So they will likely beat the PS2, which is 155.
Oh
yeah, they got that.
Yeah. Especially when a newer game comes out and it's going to look better on the OLED. So those that didn't upgrade to the OLED yet, they'll probably do that.
Dude, I've had 3 Switches.
Really?
And a
Oh,
Switch
yeah.
Lite. Yeah, bro. I've
Yeah.
had 3 of them. That's what I'm saying. They got their money from me.
Yeah, he did. God damn it. You messed up, Jigga J. You 1 cent off. I'm just kidding. He said Jigga J with the 20. I appreciate it, fam. He said for the horn hub time. What's that horn action? Here we go. All right. Iron lungs on that one.
Yo,
Iron
he was
lungs.
feeling himself on that one. You see how long he went? He said,
Valhalla felt that one, boy. The Bifrost is shaking right now.
You stupid.
All right, man. But yeah, like that. Yeah, nothing's adding up right now, and I think a lot of these studios are realizing that, man. What do you say, Hargeet?
Boy, do I have things to say about this. Okay, so a couple of years back, I put out a video on my channel called "Is Graphical Fidelity Killing Gaming or Ruining Gaming?" And I think it is. Look, the headache you run into, like Microsoft did a whole bunch of bold things to come out of the mess they put themselves in when they launched the Xbox One. Before that, though, the PS3 did the same thing. PS3 came out, put themselves in a bad position, and they had to do some bold things. Their choice was to go make these cinematic games. Cool. It's one path to go. They kept doing that, but they also recognized, at least a couple of their CEOs, and Sean said this, that look, it's not sustainable, right? If we keep doing this, we keep making it more and more and more and more expensive, we just won't make the money back. The rest of the industry said, well, shit, now we got to keep up with them. And so they started making their games like that. And then everybody looked to Xbox to say, well, why aren't your games looking like that? So, yeah, but like our games do well. We don't need to do that. But okay, fine, if that's what you want, right? Ultimately, this path it's not going to work. It's you have to make games that will sell so many copies to make the money back that it just becomes unsustainable to have anything but the same exact bloody game that you hope will always. It's just like the Marvel effect, right? You have to make the same freaking movies or you just won't make your money back. And even that, at some point, just people get tired. I don't want to watch this over and over again. Come on. Right. And so, like, this problem was going to happen, right? There's another major thing that happened is gaming became so big. And when things become so big, big money starts coming in with big investors who want big returns. And they don't care how it happens. They don't care how the sausage is made. They just want the freaking returns. Well, that's a problem because now people started making too many games. So they all wanted to have like 100 freaking AAA games. How many of those games can you play? Like you're saying, the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin' on how many games you can actually play within a given time frame. It used to be we would get like 3-4 big games a year, and we're like, oh, that's awesome. Now you get 3-4 big games a month. How do you do that?
It's a good problem.
You just don't.
It is a good problem.
You just don't. It's a great problem from one perspective. It's a horrible problem from a sales perspective.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where they are. Right? You take Prince of Persia. Great game. Didn't go anywhere. That's a massive flop. Right? And you take this pivot to games as a service, live game stuff like Suicide Squad, like Anthem. You can go on and on down the list. Massive fails. Like that can't be sustained. Square Enix has had fail after fail after fail after fail after fail. How long can that keep going? Right? This is the problem the industry's in. This is going to happen. We were going to have a crash at some point. We are in a AAA crash. We're not necessarily in an everything crash, but we are in a AAA crash, and we have to figure out, the industry has to figure out how to make this work. And that's basically where we're at now. So the Sony model, even Sony recognized, is not going to work. So they have to slow that down, like you were saying, Fuzzy. They can't keep making games like this. You have to slow it down, come up with different experiences at different price points, and try to make money off of it, right? Hellblade isn't going to cost that much because, well, they didn't spend that much, right? But it is a AA experience, and then who cares? It's good enough. You have to just make games like that and put them out there, right? It's not going to be far off from the number of hours of Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 cost how much more? Like 10 times as much? Not to mention the marketing, not to mention you have to pay royalties in the 20 to 50% range. That's just insane. How do you make that back? You notice EA came up and said, we're done. We're not doing those games anymore. We're done. Because it just costs too much. Right? And so, like, okay, that's one studio saying it's done. Ubisoft hasn't done their layoffs. You think they're not going to have them? How did the Avatar game do? Did it do well? No.
Skull and Bones?
Skull and Bones? Flop.
The quadruple A game.
God, after how many years? 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, however long it took.
10 years, yeah.
To play Battleship, man. No.
You barely even get off the ship.
Barely. I mean, sadly, you should just expect it. It's going to happen. They're going to have to deal with their quarterly report, and they're going to see their fall lineup sucked. And so there's going to be layoffs. It's just the way it is. This is unfortunate, but it was going to happen. There was also the COVID bump. A lot of people at home wanted to play games, wanted consumption. It's like, give me more games, give me more games. Well, yeah, that kind of like fizzled when people could go outside and do stuff.
People were getting stimmy checks too, so they had money to burn too. So a lot of those numbers were probably overinflated for those sales numbers for most of those games because people could just buy it.
So ultimately, this idea of making games where like every blade of grass has to move and all that stuff, that's people time. That's a lot of wasted time. Now, good, maybe AI can help some of that, but honestly, does it matter? Does it really matter? Like, it'd be better to just give you the game, the story. It looks good enough, right? And it doesn't take 8 years to give you a game. If you could have the same game in 2.5 to 3 years, is that better? It costs way less, right? This is a thing that people have to like grasp. The next generations, by the way, don't give a shit. They're coming up saying, Minecraft is good. Roblox is good.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you just have to take that for what it is. And thank God they're saying that, because really that's what we need. We need more PAL worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game doesn't look like it's a stellar, graphical experience. Who cares? $7 million,
Brotato,
25 million players.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It's perfectly fine. We have to be more, accepting of those kind of games than like the guy getting out of the boat in God of War doesn't look right. Like seriously, somebody actually paid attention to that. Like really, that's something you have to care about. This is the kind of pettiness that says, "Oh no, we have to fix that animation." That's like 3 to 6 months of somebody's work. Why? But that's what we're at, right? And I blame Sony for this because they had to do a bold move, and that's the move they made, and they pushed the industry in this direction, right?
Mhm.
Is it cool to have good graphics? Yes, not at the expense of gameplay, not at the expense of the studios, because that's where we are. That's where we are right now. A lot of these studios are going to fail. A lot of these studios are going to go away. It's just the way it is. We've made it so hellish for these people to make these games so that they can deliver within a shorter period of time. I don't think it's worth it. I think this needs to scale back. I think a Hellblade at 6 hours, fine. That's good. I don't need more than that. That's fine. Right? Make more of those. Don't go nuts. Everything doesn't have to look like it's a movie. If I wanted to watch a movie, I have this thing called a Blu-ray. I have this thing called Netflix. I can just go watch a movie. I don't need to do that in my gaming. The best company for gaming is Nintendo. Why? Because they don't give a shit about any of that stuff. They give you games that play like games. That's it. They just give you games that play like games. They're fun games. That's what you need to do. But anyway, I think this was bound to happen. It's unfortunate. This is very unfortunate, right? And I think we've now eclipsed about what we did last year in the first 2 months in layoffs.
Yep.
It's going to get worse. This is just the beginning. It's going to get worse. We have some other big ones to still come. So we're going to have more. It's just unfortunately the way it is. I expect the next 4 months it's going to be like this. And hopefully it stabilizes.
Do you think it would be easier for them to manage budgets and expectations if they get rid of because right now a lot of things like are in the sales model, like how many did it sell, opposed to kind of like what GeForce Now or EA, Ubisoft, they have their in Xbox with Game Pass, they have their subscription services to where they can manage those budgets, keep those studios healthy while having a steady flow of income coming in. You think that is helpful?
So, was it Ubisoft? One of them actually mentioned this, that people have to get used to the idea of subscriptions.
Right. Ubisoft, yep.
People aren't ready for it. That's the problem. Ubisoft Plus, how many subscribers do you think they have? It was like 1 million. That's it.
Well, yeah, because
right?
because it's too high for what it offers.
Maybe. I mean, to me, it seems valuable enough, but it is what it is. People won't subscribe. And you do the same thing with EA. How many people do you think subscribe to that one? And it's just not enough. Like they need to have a sustained 10, 15, 20 million subscribers. Then yeah, it absolutely is fine. Right. Microsoft is in a very good position with the 33 million. Well, let's say 28 million of the actual Game Pass subscribers, which is fantastic. That gives them a lot of revenue. Right now, their problem is more they went and bought ABK and they have to put Call of Duty into Game Pass, which is a lot of revenue loss that they have to absorb. Right. Which brings you to the thing of Toys for Bob, which I'm very disappointed with, which means that they've switched away from we're going to have quirky small games, which also tells you why they took Grounded, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and put those on other platforms. They're not going to do those games anymore. That's basically what that means, because Call of Duty basically ate up the budget for making all those smaller games. Now, I'm very, very disappointed in that. But if that's really the case, because that's what it looks like, then we will only be getting these big AAA games, which I don't think is the way I want it either. No. I would prefer to have Double Fine games. I would prefer to have Groundeds. I would like those kind of games. They give you filler. They give you things to do while you're waiting for Fable to come out, right? You can spend a lot of time in a Grounded. Why not? That's cool. You can spend a lot of time in a Sea of Thieves. Again, I think this is a bad move, but it's the move they're making. And they're saying, hey, maybe we'll make enough money on these other platforms, and so I can get another Hi-Fi Rush.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to work. I liked Game Pass giving me that blanket, right? It's paid for. Go ahead, studio, make whatever quirky game you want. Cool, right? They're now following the Sony model, which I don't want. I don't want all big, AAA games. I think it's much better to have smaller games because then you get gems that you never thought you ever wanted to play.
That's true.
Right? I had no idea I wanted to play Pentiment. I know a lot of people hated that game, but man, was that a crazy story. I couldn't finish. Like I had to keep playing it. I was like, what the freak is going on here? So I just played and finished it. Like it's just so nuts. Not a lot of people like it, but for those who it resonated with, that was fantastic. Yeah. I would love to see more of those. I don't think we're going to see more of those. So this is unfortunately where we are. I'd prefer more of those but people don't buy those games, right? But that was why freaking Game Pass was so awesome because it funded those kind of things.
Right.
I don't think we're going to fund those kind of things because now it has to pay for Diablo. It has to pay for Call of Duty. And I hate that. I'd rather pay for Call of Duty and let me get the quirky games. I don't know. I know a lot of people hate that idea. I know a lot of people want Call of Duty and Game Pass. But frankly, that's a multiplayer game. Go buy your stupid Call of Duty. Most of the people who are going to play that game are going to buy their $70 game and play nothing else. Good. Go pay your $70. I'd rather get next Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded. I'd love to get those. I don't know what's going to happen. And I like the industry is in a really weird place. And, I hope the right lessons are learned and not the wrong lessons. And so I hope the AAA games, they come down a bit. Like budgets should be like capped at 100 million or 70 million. Say, oh, if you need to go beyond this, we have to have a conversation as to why, right? And start making games more profitable, right? Instead of ridiculous. Like, no, the trees don't all have to have every single leaf be individually moving around. Who gives a crap? Honestly, it's a tree in the background 300 feet away. Let it go. It doesn't matter. Seriously, people have gone crazy about these things. It needs to stop. All of that costs money, and it's costing all those companies the ability to sustain themselves. Every single one of them. EA is laying people off. Ubisoft's coming up. I don't know if Take-Two gets away with it, but don't be surprised when all these big publishers are having layoffs. So
Take-Two might after the release of probably GTA 6, but probably not before.
That would be next year though, right? So we will see.
Probably after the release,
Nintendo seems to be insulated from this, but again, they're now doing lawsuits for a reason. Don't be surprised if there happen to be layoffs there too. Okay, everybody's getting hit. They have a year where they were expecting to launch a whole bunch of games in a console, and they won't. That could be a financial hit for them, and they still have to sustain their business. So they happen to have massive profit line, so it could be fine that they just squeeze that down and they're okay. Maybe they will be, but don't be shocked if they turn around and do the same thing. So hopefully they don't. Historically, they try not to. But again, don't be shocked if it happens. This is unfortunately where we are. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Confusing times for sure. Scale, what'd you say, man?
I'll keep it kind of short because I know we're coming up on time. I think I really agree with Hargeet as far as the games are too cinematic. They look too good and it's costing too much money. So therefore, after it doesn't do well, it's just an L. But I'm gonna just keep it short. Layoffs are obviously happen all across the board. Everybody's getting hit. So it's just the time we're in where I think the gaming industry just spent too much money. And AI is coming in. I swear, I don't care. I think AI has something to do with it. Sorry. It is what it is. Hey, it's coming in. And you see what Microsoft has made another deal. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's just spending too much money, man. I really, really agree with Ari with the cinematic, man. I remember, he said how PlayStation started out going cinematic. I remember when Killzone 2 trailer dropped, that was looking like the best game I've ever seen in my life, literally. I was like, this is going to be crazy. It didn't look like that when it came out, but that's what they were going for, was to have the most cinematic feel. And I think they were pushing Blu-ray as well, so they wanted that to be their thing, is cinematic. So kind of now we're all in the phase of wanting hyper cinematic things. It's cost us too much money when they don't sell well. And if 300 million ain't gonna work, period. I don't think you're ever gonna get that back. And these boys want their ROIs. I promise. That we've talked about on the Longhouse plenty of times. That ROI is not a joke at all. So I'm gonna just keep it short. And I'll say one more thing. I think EA personally is just trying to become a sports company. I think they're just going to do sport games. They're done with everything else. They say, you know what? We make so much money off packs and microtransactions. Why would we do anything else? Why? So EA been getting on my nerves for a while. Jedi Survivor and Dead Space are good games. Like though, I actually enjoy those. So the fact that they stopped with the Mandalorian style, I was like, bruh, y'all are losing me. Like I don't want to play y'all sports games.
And they have that Apex, right? That just generates money. It's like they're gonna look for those live games. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's the original IPs. Like I think a lot of people are going to start dropping these licenses from other companies to make games for them because Disney's probably gotten way too greedy to get money back. Like $300 million to make a game, plus you have the license to make the game and you have to pay all these royalties. Like you'd be lucky to get into black, but as a company, are you just looking to get into black or you want to get into green? You know what I mean? Like I'm not looking just to make the same, make my money back. I need more. You know what I mean? And a 6% ROI for something over a period of 5 to 6 years is not good. You know what I mean? Like if I give you $100 today, Cam, and I was like, all right, you owe me whatever, and then you come back with 106 6 years later, I'm like, nah, blood.
All right, wait, bro. The law money is
different. Which is a loss. Which is a loss because of inflation. Because of inflation.
Yep.
It's already a loss.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Straight up.
At all.
It's not.
Yeah. What about you, Nova, man? What you think about all this going down?
Man, I think that they are going to be dropping these IPs, but I feel like these companies they do see it coming, right? So the Epic partnership with Disney, to bring some of so they're trying to look for other ways to bring their IPs to the consumer in a gaming kind of way. But all of these layoffs, they suck, man. We're only 2 months into the year, almost 3, and thousands of people have lost their livelihood. And first and foremost, that is a terrible thing right there, right?
Right.
And way less important is we are losing out on some of these games. That Mandalorian game does sound like it would have been a pretty cool game, man. And it's just unfortunate because if a company is doing bad, the easiest thing to do is just kind of reduce operating costs by just laying people off, man. You don't have to pay them anymore, and that's a lot of money saved. And but to Hargeet's point about like graphic fidelity potentially killing gaming, he may be onto something there, man. I never really thought about that. I do enjoy the games that give me that, like Final Fantasy VII. I was playing that today. It looks amazing, but I guarantee you they spent millions upon millions and countless hours on that game, man. And everybody can't do that. Everybody can't sustain that. And Nintendo definitely, they knew this from a long time ago, man. Nintendo been said, if you guys are going to do the fidelity thing, fine. We can be on the same highway, but on, in our own lane. So they decided to do it totally different, man. But yeah, we may get to a place to where EA is only making sports games, like Skell said, and I think that EA is totally fine with that, man. Like it's print money, so why not? And it works
every year.
Risk.
Plus they got and the new college football game coming out too, so that's going to print money as well.
Yeah, no risk.
And every game has microtransactions as well. All of them. How all your games have microtransactions, and they all sell on there. It's
sad, but like Immortals of Avium came out and they didn't have those. They didn't have microtransactions, but it flopped.
Yeah, I guess that's what sells is microtransactions.
Yeah, like, they said what sells is what's already out. They said we're not taking no more risks, bro. Like this is what it is.
If they had cut that budget down, maybe make it 40 million instead of 120 million, it might have made its money back.
Yep.
Right. And then you put it in sub-service. It's going to go to EA Play, right? And it's going to end up on Game Pass. Like maybe it makes some money back. I mean, like
diversify your investment, gaming companies.
Gotta do it.
One thing you mentioned layoffs, like to decrease operating costs, right? Usually when you hear the layoff news, when you look at the stock market, your stock bounces back up, right? Like it usually kind of skyrockets sometimes, right? Because bro, when Sony did it, it didn't do shit. Sony laid off those 900 people. Like, there's probably something really going on. First of all, they lost 10 billion of stock evaluation because of Q3, right? And they saw the return on investment. Second, all their studios do these big cinematic games, and that's what PlayStation is known for, right? And then on top of that, now they're potentially getting sued for another 10 billion. The deal that they had with was it an India company? ZTV fell through, so they probably have to pay some sort of breakup fee for that. I'm not sure. I didn't read into that.
Yeah, they get taxed.
I'm sure. Holy shit, man! Like, and then like, what else is Sony like really like? They sell TVs. PlayStation's kind of their thing, right? Like,
well, they have the movie division, they have the music division, right?
But
Madam
Web didn't do good,
which was a fail.
Right?
We saw that from the beginning.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like,
now, look, the other problem is if you look at their business as far as the PlayStation, they've come out and said they have no big games coming out at least for a year, probably 2. So, like, you have to look at that from an investment perspective and say, why should I invest in you? I'll come back to you when you have something to sell, right?
Yeah.
And you just made a flip. If you look at that from an internals perspective, you were doing a whole bunch of games as a service games that you just canceled.
Yeah.
Well, what are those studios making then? So that means you're starting again. When are they going to release a game?
Another 4 to 5 years of development,
right? So
maybe with
they have like 2 to 3 years of like nothing. Yeah. So what do you expect to do? And like the idea of money hatting, that's going to dry up. Most of those publishers are saying, I need money. Sony, you ain't enough. And they're not going to keep making these deals with them. They're going to put their game everywhere because they just want to sell as much as they can. I don't think they're going to get those money hats anymore. You might get small indies. Okay, you get baby steps. Is that going to do anything for you? No. Like, I'm just being honest. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, their catalog is broken for the next few years.
Yeah,
that's
the next baby steps gonna have microtransactions too. I'm sure.
Every step costs you 20 cents.
Yeah, and it was really weird that they money hatted Square Enix Foam Stars and thought it was just good enough just to have it on PlayStation and not release it on PC, which was wild to me.
Yeah, or Switch, which is where it'll actually do something.
Right, like
but anyway,
wild to me.
I don't even think that game will run on the Switch, to be honest. So crazy.
I mean, they got Hogwarts running on the Switch, right? So they can scale it back. I mean, but like that game, it has a different audience. I think it would do well on Switch. I think it actually work.
It has the look. Well, I think it would. I'd have to compete with Splatoon though. That'd be the biggest.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like and I don't know if Nintendo would say no, but because look, Mario is theirs, and they put Sonic on there. Sonic is on Switch.
They used to beef too. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Nintendo don't.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. But like PlayStation, I don't know what they're looking pretty weak, and you don't get Hiroki Totoki running around that you guys don't know how to make money to their studios for nothing, right? Like that's where they are. They're in trouble.
And they're supposed to be releasing new hardware here soon too.
Right,
which is another boondoggle on their neck.
Yeah. It's absolutely wild. Like, and then like the future is going to be services for sure, right? Yeah. Hardware and services, and they are way behind when it comes to services. Like way behind. Yeah, because I think,
and I mean Nintendo's behind them, but Nintendo's Nintendo.
Right, right. Yeah, 100%. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I didn't really. I mean, I guess I talked in between you guys or whatever. Just give my little 2 cents on everything. Chat. All 82 people are here. Y'all hit that like button if y'all rocked with us the whole time. Hit that sub button if you're here for the first time, second time. You know what I'm saying? If you like what you're hearing. I would like to thank Fuzzy and Hargeet, man. I really appreciate y'all coming on the show. You guys are such great talkers, man, and y'all be very articulate when it comes to your opinions, man. And I super respect all that. But Fuzzy, before we go, tell these people on the million shows you're about to be on. Let them know, man.
Well, just want to thank you for having me on. Always awesome being on here with you guys, and always awesome being on a podcast here with Hargeet. We've been on a lot of shows together most recently.
Yeah,
we have
a dynamic duo,
right?
No, but this was an awesome conversation tonight. Love talking about this gaming industry and stuff, but yeah, it's been a while. Got some good stuff to look forward to between now and June, though. But in between, yeah, hopefully things start to stabilize a little bit. But in any case, thank you guys for having me. For those that want to follow me or hear my rambles and rants on anything gaming, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. You can find me on Double Barrel Gaming tomorrow for Breakfast Boom, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fun Speculation at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Xbox Ultimate. And then Saturday, PTK Blam's channel for the Shop Podcast. And then I think I'm going to be on Sunday for Pixel Echoes with 3-bit.
I'll be on there too. I'll be on there with you. All right, cool.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm going to be bouncing around a lot of different places, but follow me on Twitter. That'll be the best place to find out where I'll be. But thanks for having me on here. It was awesome being on here with you guys again.
All right, yeah. Thanks for coming on, man.
Appreciate you.
Super like you being here, man. Hey, Hargeet, you the same way, boy. You be everywhere. Tell them where they can find you, man.
Yeah, so part of me, I'm actually part of Game On Daily. So check out GameOnDaily.com and YouTube.com/GameOnDaily and our regular Game On Daily go live on Saturdays at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. And I will actually be on Lemon's podcast, 108 Dragons TV. Something like that. I think that's his channel. Check that out. 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Saturday. Normally I will be on Fonz's channel for GameStalk Live. However, this Sunday I will be flying out to California for work, so I will not be on that. I don't know if we'll do a makeup podcast sometime during the week. We'll figure that out. I just don't know for timing perspective if it'll work out. But normally I would do that on Sundays. And then normally I'm on Boom's podcast on Wednesdays. This coming Wednesday, again, I don't think I'll be on. And I've also become, and that's on Primetime Gaming on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. But check out the show. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people there on Double Barrel Gaming. Yeah. And then on Fridays, I am part of the Night Shift, which is C Money's podcast. Usually on Friday at 6 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, but this coming week it's going to be shifted to Tuesday because there's a him, her, and a guest. I think that's whatever and one of those interviews is going to be on Friday. So that's shifted over. But otherwise, I'll be on that. And at some point in the future, I don't know when, we'll have RDX Pack, and I'll be on back with Dealer and the crew on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Dealer Gaming's channel.
Sweet, man. That's super cool. Hey, chat, I put all their links in the description below. Y'all go there, follow them. Hargeet doesn't mess in the mud on Twitter though. So
no. But I am on Discord, H Chani, and on Xbox, H Chani. And yeah, nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And Fuzzy, man. I guess we'll probably be on the next 20 podcasts together.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Scale. Tell them where they can find you, man.
What's up, you guys? Appreciate you guys for joining. Hargeet and Fuzzy, thank you guys. Really, really appreciate y'all. You guys are the best. You guys have so much to say. I love to listen, I promise. But yeah, thank them. You guys can catch me on YouTube streaming. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 1 p.m. Central. I'll be streaming I'll be streaming tomorrow, probably playing more Helldivers and getting into it. I'm gonna say something in the chat. You can click on that and go straight to my channel, but I lost focus too. That's what happens on my channel too. I lose focus. See, I'm joking. But yeah, you can catch me on there. You can catch me on X as well. BLAQQ SKELLINGTON with 2 Qs. Thank you, and we appreciate all the donations for sure. They go to a good cause. It does all go for the kids. We're just trying to give the kids some good games to play. You know, show them the love that Game Pass has to give. So, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Cool, man. Thank you, Nova.
Shout out to
hit him with that positivity.
He be setting me up for it every day. Like, what if I don't want to be positive today? You know what I'm saying? But no, I want to be positive every day, man. But shout out to Fuzzy and Hargeet, man, for coming through. Very great perspectives, man. We're very well thought out, man. Definitely appreciate you guys coming through and giving the goods out to the chat out here, man. And shout out to the chat, man. We right now we got 71 people in the chat still, man. At the end, after 2 hours and 15 minutes of us just yapping, you know, which is a blessing in itself, man. So shout out to y'all in the chat. And it's Thursday, aka Friday Eve, as I like to call it. So man, just coast into the weekend pretty nice. Get you some good rest. Get you something good to eat. Yeah, but that's it, man.
Cool, man. Again, Fuzzy, Hargeet, thanks for joining. Probably have you on again soon, man. I'm trying to, like, I put out a filler, man. Like, chat, if y'all know of any like female streamers or females that do podcasts, like I already know Epic and Blue Number, Cassie Cage, Delilah. But if y'all know more, man, like I want to flood the market because I don't see them a lot. You know what I mean? Like I just want to flood the market because I think their perspective on gaming and games in general would be very worthwhile to hear.
Agreed.
Also, I have a OnlyFans account called Horny Horn Man. If y'all want to follow me on that, you just send in money, and then I'll.
You got to bump the price up though.
I will. Yeah, my price is very high on OnlyFans. It's
Horn Man.
Horny Horn Man. YouTube wouldn't let me link it.
Really blows.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, y'all catch me on there. $50 to blow the horn shirtless. $35 for the horn in between my feet. So yeah, man, I get it cracking on there. You know what I'm saying? But no, thanks for thanks for rocking with us. I really appreciate that. Goat Gaming, you went crazy today. Yeah. Shout out to all the chat, man. Y'all kept it lively in there. And shout out to everybody who you gifted members, became a member, or gave us a super chat. Really appreciate that. It's going to go a long way. Day Reezy says, do you blow the horn all day on your OnlyFans? Not all day, right? So like you have to pay money. There's like a special $1,000 thing to where like it goes to another orifice and I blow that way. So like
He's talking about his nose, chat.
There you go.
Hey, for $100, he'll do a body roll with while blowing the horn.
Hey, we'll see, man. It's for the kids. You know what I'm saying? But no, we gotta be out. Well, I'll see y'all, bro, before I get too crazy here.